How do you break down barriers? Who would like to start that? Julie?
I'd like to start. The barriers that I described earlier, the actual barriers and the barriers that we carry in our minds, which are equally imposing, those can be addressed often by taking it one step at a time. Often when you look at the whole thing, it seems like too much, whether it's starting a business, starting a new business, going back to school, whatever it is, it can just seem overwhelming. When I returned to school, and I come from a family that doesn't have any education. My dad was a lumberjack. My mom was a factory worker, farm worker, mostly stay-at-home mom. And it just wasn't valued in my community to have a higher education. When I decided that I was going to return, I had to do it a little bit at a time because I was a single mom with a little kid at home, and I was on social assistance, and I just couldn't afford to do it any other way other than piece by piece. And many years later, I ended up with a PhD. And like I said, it took me longer, but the barrier of poverty and isolation and all that, those I sort of picked at them and just didn't give up, and I've seen other people do that as well. And when I couldn't figure out my way around a barrier, I would ask other people for help. There's no shame in that.
True enough. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else like to comment? Sheila.
Part of the program that I run is it has a lot to do with that, breaking down barriers, because when I was putting together the program, I had to think about myself as an Aboriginal woman leader and think about all the other women leaders that are going to apply to the program. And what we do is we have things for Aboriginal women to deal with self-esteem, worthiness. I also put into the program Aboriginal history being taught from a First Nation, Métis, and Inuit perspective. Hearing from the three different women talk about their Aboriginal history gives you a good fundamental basis of who you are if you're First Nation, Métis, or Inuit. We also have in the program, because our girls go away on a 3-month project in their own community to do some kind of community development, to get engagement and participation from their community. So we put together a positive interpersonal engagement strategy for them, because a lot of times they face lateral violence. And one of our students this past year worked on a project on 3 months on lateral violence. So in the coming months, you'll get to see that online, what she worked on. And there's not a lot of work done on lateral violence. But, when I went home, I remember hearing, what are you doing here? Why don't you just stay in Ottawa and get a job there? Why are you coming here trying to take a job from us? You think you're better than us because you got educated? I heard a lot of different things like that because they want to put you down. They don't want you to move up. It's like the crabs in the bucket. They want to drag you back down. So our program really has a lot to do with building up our women, talking about their leadership roles, and talk about how do you engage your community. So in that whole process, these 15 women that take the program, they form a sisterhood. And in this sisterhood, they talk about the different barriers that they have to face. And thank God for Facebook, because a couple of girls said that, I don't know if I could have got through the program without my sisters being there for me to help me, to let me know that I'm not the only one going through this at this time. So that's my answer for that.